Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna J. White, and I'm so glad you're with me today. Today, we're going to focus on 5 ways um, that the life coach, can help you get unstuck. Um, I know that we all are probably going through almost the same ordeals in our life, some more similar than others, but we always want to come to our goals. We always want to get to the end goal. And most people know that what we want and how we get it, but it comes to moving forward, there's a tough time. And we don't stick to it. We make all kinds of excuses not to get started. We justify why we quit trying. Um, and if you're one of these people, you might consider life coaching. Contrary to some myths about life coaching, it's simply someone telling you what to do, or a skilled life coach listening and asking questions. In fact, life coaching clearly is a solution to obtaining your goals, or helping you to focus on your goals and not boss you around or psychoanalyze you. So I'm going to go through 5 ways that life coaches can help you get unstuck and get you back on the path towards your goals. Number 1 is listening for structure. So in the beginning of your coaching session, there's a lot of discovery that goes on, a lot of understanding, a lot of listening, and what I call dumping, unpacking your bag. So there are a series of questions that I often listen to, of the who, what, when, and where. We listen past or beyond the content, and also on the structural components of what's being said, like your language patterns, because your language patterns are limits to your power. So we listen for hints of the bigger picture. And we also suggest what your stumbling blocks are. And then we speak with the client and start them to thinking about what is making them stumble, and just put it out on the table, to actually just put it out there. And so we can look for different patterns and new ways to organize the content and create new solutions. So a life coach can help you dump it all out, look at it, and make it plain, so that we can start making a roadmap towards where you want to go. Number 2 is new levels of thinking. Albert Einstein is often quoted saying, "You can't solve your problems with the same thinking that created them." A coach is not limited by the same thinking the client may be stuck in. Coaches ask questions at different levels of thinking, inspire a client to create a new awareness. You cannot change what you're not aware of. For example, if I am drawing the client's attention to different levels of abstract, such as the big picture of small details from their actions to self-image, asking questions that offer different perspectives, or asking questions that filter different thinking styles, such as taking a critic's view of the solution, can inspire you as the client to grow outside of the thinking that created the problem. So it's just like you're seeing a view without any, I guess, skinny in the game. So I definitely am not gaining anything from giving you a critique on a different perspective and asking you questions to kind of draw out what you're thinking, and taking that, inspiring you to go outside of that. Okay? Number 3, challenging questions. One of the core components of a coach is direct communication. Part of this asking questions that challenge your personal model of the world. For example, when a person makes a statement about how things are, such as a limiting statement about capabilities, I'm not good at whatever. I, the coach, can ask evoking questions that challenge the client to really examine whether they're assuming this and it's not true, and then exploring other possibilities. Like asking the question, when is the time you were good at? Through these challenging questions, a client limiting belief about their environments, the actions, the capabilities, the choices, what is truly important, their self identity, and what is possible in the world can be addressed, clearing away the committed action. So, whatever behavior is stopping you, we can kind of find out what that is so that we can evoke change on the outside of your old viewpoint. And it takes, you putting time in and, really saying, I'm going to get the best out of what is happening right now and allowing that to happen. Now, I have a book that's called The Big Ask, and it's basically a workbook that asks you all these challenging questions about what you really want. Because a lot of times we don't know what we want. We have no idea. We're asking, but we're asking not knowing what we really want. So we have to get outside of that and we have to move forward. And that's what creates the stuck because we want something, like say if you're making $70,000 and you want to make 100,000, right? You may have a belief in your system or in your brain that you have to work harder and under someone when really you need to be not working harder but smarter and come outside of yourself or move from that company or move from that business and position yourself in a different way. So you may not see that, but someone looking in that has the expertise to ask the right questions can. Number 4, the outside viewpoint. In most cases, a coach is like a neutral third party that is not involved in the client's day-to-day life. The coach operates from outside position, and they're responsible for facilitating a conversation and is not affected by or invested in the choices that you make as the client. I am a neutral observer, the coach. The coach respects the client as highly creative, capable, resilient, and powerful. Sometimes the major limiting factors for that person are the people closest to them. So the people closest to them could give them ideas or their ideas on how they did this, when actually it's not them that have done it, but everyone individually does things differently and accomplish things differently and wants things that are different from the other person. So, out of the sense of trying to protect a person from failure, these people can critically create resistance, doubt, and loss of motivation. Sometimes this happens entirely inside the client's mind. Have you ever talked to yourself? Talked yourself out of trying to do something because you thought you could fail? Failing is a great indicator that you're on the right track because then you can always change what you're doing. A coach lifts up the client by believing in him or her, and this belief comes through in a positive, possibility oriented, future focused question that are asked. The last and final 5, independent accountability. There's a common misconception that one of coach's major rule is accountability partner. a taskmaster to hold your feet to the fire to get your stuff done. Well, that's not always true. The client sets goals and action plans, and then the coach holds them accountable. But you are actually really doing all the work. We just see the method of problematic things that you're doing. We create a relationship between the weeks of like 3 to 6 weeks. So the client is left without a supportive accountability structure. And they have to pull their tools out and start working and be masterful to help themselves. So that it has to be self accountability and positive accountability. Even if the coach is not around, you're going to be able to pull those tools out and be able to hold yourself accountable to that fire, as it were, in order to reach your goal. A coach invites the client to find positive, not punitive structures of accountability. For punitive accountability, if the client doesn't follow through, there's a punishment. And that doesn't really work. It's just like with a kid. It doesn't want to work. Punishment is real, but the threat of it isn't real. Because a coaching relationship doesn't last forever, you have to use your tools. I am just a catalyst that helps activate a client to start taking action, get back into action, change and grow. I hope that this little video has helped you to realize what coaching is really about. This is the 5 ways a life coach can help you get unstuck. And if you have any questions or would like to leave a comment, please leave it below, ask that question, and I will be able to help you. Thanks for listening in.